Just thought we'd show you how the setup is coming along for the strip for the Simpson. So there's been a lot of work that we've had to do. I mean, we've been doing a lot of work in the storage side of things for some time, specifically for these sorts of trips. So we've pretty much done the pre-pack. Everything is loaded, just making sure everything fits nicely. So I thought we'll take you through how everything is set up. So we have done a bit of a detailed video before on this setup, but not when everything's packed up like this, so I thought it'd be good to show you. So on the side here, we've got all of our switches for lights. So this does the lights at the back that you see are currently on. This one does a light that's up in the front of the wagon, and then this light is for the lights in the awning. On our sunscreen holder in here, we've fitted our axe up using some quick fist clamps up in there. On the right hand side in here, this is where we will store laptops so that we can charge, because we've got all our 240 volt power board up there, which we turn on down here, which makes it nice and easy. Then the rest of the shelf is got a nice big canvas bag that fits on there perfectly, which has all our camera gear and different charging power points and so on, and then the first aid kit and fire extinguisher down on that side. So that's a good little space to keep things out the way and easy access. What we've done as well on the back is, so you can see now we've got a couple of sleeping bags, mine and my dad's, because he's coming along with me, canvas bag with all of our tools that are in there. Everything's sort of strapped in so it shouldn't move around. And then we've got a couple of crates on this side. So this one currently is empty, again, all strapped in so this doesn't move. And we've added another, thicker grade carpet with some rubber on the bottom just to, with any movement to stop it damaging the top of the drawers. And then you can see there's another crate at the back, and that's got a bunch of spares and things like that, radiator hoses, fan belts, and the like. So over on the in this side here, we basically have two Snow Peak lightweight chairs, which fit in this nice Drifta canvas bag. We've got a small, actually it's a large Uniflame table, which folds up nicely. And again, this is another Drifta bag. This is a boot liner bag. They're really good, stops all the rattling and protects everything. And then on the other side of that, we have a pop-up ensuite as well. And then we've just got shock cord that goes around all of that to stop anything moving. So that all fits really nicely in there, out of the way, and easy access when we need to get to it. So with the Drifta drawers, you have this table that slides out, so you can use the table as it is here. And it does have legs underneath, as you can see there, so you can pull it all the way out and just use it as a table, which we will be doing. That's where we'll do our cooking and everything else. So top drawer is basically the pantry. So everything's packed up, as you can see. We've got quite a lot of dry stuff, just makes it easier. Not as much stuff to go in the fridge. So we've got things like, rice in this container, pasta in here, a few biscuits, curry pastes, a bunch of different herbs, and all these sorts of glass things. We've actually got them inside stubby coolers, which we'll use anyway, just because we're going to be on some pretty bad corrugation, so it'll stop anything cracking or breaking. And then, you can see what else we have in here. Just a bit of long life milk, salt, pepper, sugar in this container, cereal, flour as well, just to do some beer damper. And then we've got a bunch of, lots of tinned canned stuff. So, like canned tomatoes, coconut milk for curries, popcorn, because it's, not like chips that take up a lot of space. It's a really good one to have snacks. A cutting board sitting on top, but basically, we've got corned beef, a bunch of different canned stuff in here. And then 2-minute noodles, a couple big packets of those, because we'll have some of those for lunches as well, because it's nice and easy. Doesn't take up much space either. So that's the pantry drawer. Bit of Tetris went on to pack that quite nicely, as you can see. And then the bottom drawer's got a little bit of food stuff. It's a bit bigger, that doesn't fit up top, as well as all of our cooking gear. So a few little snacks there. But yeah, it's pretty well packed. Again, a lot of bags just to make life a lot easier with packing. So in this Drifta canvas bag, we have got our Uniflame large cook set, which is an awesome bit of cooking gear, especially if you're touring. There's so many different bits and pieces that are in here and all fits nicely. We've got a blog post on that if you want to check it out, because it's highly recommended. Not a cheap piece of gear, but highly worth the dollars you spend, because it's just, you know, such a good space saver and doesn't weigh much either. We've then got other things in here, like, you know, a little fold out chopping board with a knife in there. You would have seen that in other previous things we've done. Got our olive oil, good little grab me gear bags here with all of our cutlery and things like that. You've got a jet cooker in here, which is another good Drifta boot liner bag, so that helps you store it nice and easily. Bit of paper towel, a nice little companion pop-out LED lamp, which will be good on cooking and stuff. And then again, a few more grab me gear mates, which has got all of our cooking utensils and stuff like that in there. And then another grab me gear one, which has got bug spray, Bushman's of course. And you can see at the bottom in there, we've got a pop-out tub for washing up, which will make life a lot easier. Doesn't take up much room at all. Put that away. And then again, we've got a couple more Drifta bags in here. So this one's got all our coffee gear in, a percolator, coffee grinder, and all our tea bags and stuff as well. And then this other Drifta canvas bag has got all of our washing up stuff, tea towels, cloths and things like that. Then you can see this little metal piece in here. So that's just a windshield for our single gas burner. And then this cool little slide out shelf that you can pull up. So at the moment it's just got a cool companion headlamp that we just recently upgraded to, a couple of fly head nets, tape measure, alfoil, a spare fly head net, a cheap one, just in case we break the other ones, some baby wipes, matches, hole opener. And then behind here, you can see we've got a bunch of other grocery things. So, you know, got coffee in there, sauces, our eggs, a couple of bags of chips, some honey, dried fruit, canned fruit as well. So that all fits in there really nicely. It's amazing, you know, once you get canvas bags and things like that, how well you can pack your gear. So, I mean, that's basically everything we need for, you know, all our meals, and then all the cold stuff will be in the fridge. So I just took those sleeping bags out so you can see what else is in here. So, yep, just another canvas bag with all of our tools and stuff in there. Yeah, so like I said, there's 2 crates here. This here is going to have all of our dry veg and potatoes, onions, and all of that sort of stuff, and a few other little things we'll throw in there. It's all strapped in, so nothing's going to move around on those corrugations. That's just a ground sheet. And then another crate on this side, which has got our camp oven and a few other little things on top of that, because that's all in a canvas bag and a few other things. And then, like I said, yeah, a bunch of spares and things in that crate at the back there, all strapped in nicely, so shouldn't move around. And then if I can show you up on top, if you can sort of see, so there's a few canvas bags, boot liner bags. So the one on the right has got all of our gas canisters for the single gas burner. And then that boot liner bag has got all of a couple of gas canisters in there for the jet cooker, a few rolls of toilet paper. That other canvas bag has got all of our plates and cups and bowls and everything else, so all pretty easy to get to. Gas burner in that red container. All of our compressor stuff, so the hose, and then there's a grab me gear bag up there which has our the ARB digital inflator. And then behind all that is a camera tripod, so that all fits out of the way quite nicely. Makes it much easier to pack and easier to get to everything. So on the left-hand side here, all of our electrical, 12-volt USB connections are down in here, as well as the compressor switch, the inverter switch that I showed you earlier. Then we have our recovery gear. So it's a spare air filter for Rick, which I'll be giving him when we see him. So it's not going to stay there. Again, shock cord to hold this in place. So it's a really good Drifta canvas bag that's got all that Drifta recovery gear, which is all that lightweight stuff. So three soft shackles, a bridle, a tree trunk protector, and all the other stuff that we need, all of our winch stuff too. So that all fits quite nicely in there. And then behind all of that is the inverter, and just on the side of that we've got a Drifta snatch rope as well. So that all fits out the way quite nicely. Again, you've got the side wings. Under that we've got a bunch of other stuff like electrical testers and a few other little things that we're hopefully not going to need. So that's all kept out of the way. So this here is the back seat. So we have decided to store water and fuel in here, which some people probably won't be too happy with the fuel in here, but it's diesel. We can see what's going on with that. It's a really good heavy duty container, so we shouldn't have any issues with that. It's all been ratchet strapped in, so that's all nice and secure. Nothing moves in here, which is really good. So we're taking 40 liters of water and 20 liters of extra fuel, because we're not going to need much more than that, because I think our longest distance we're going to have between fuel stops is about 600 k's. So we shouldn't even need that jerry, but we've got it just in case. So that all sits in there quite nicely, the 3 jerrys. We like having it here too, just because it keeps all the weight more central to the car and nice and low down. And then the back seat at the moment is empty, but basically it'll have my old man's bag and all of his stuff on that side, mine on this side, so that'll just be where we access our clothes and everything else. And then we won't have anything else in the back, so with the drawer setup and everything else, how we've done that, it's quite easy to pack everything quite nicely, which is good. So just some additional storage stuff we've got. So we've got a Drifta wheel cover bag. We looked at quite a few when we were trying to work what we got, and we decided on the Drifta one just because of the amount of storage you get. So you get this back pocket, which you can put a few things in there as well. And then on the inside, which I will find where the zips are, has been nice heavy duty zips as well. So we'll open that up, and as you can see you get 2 removable little bins. I think they're final ones, whatever they are, and they're really good. They just come out with Velcro, so easy to get rid of your rubbish. But then behind that, which is really cool, there's another clip here, but that's got our fire pit stored in there. So it keeps it out of the cab or out of the wagon, which is great. And yeah, just a little bit of extra useful storage, which is a really nifty little bit of gear as well. So highly recommend them if you're looking for one. Something else we put on not too long ago was these rear work lights. So it's just a bracket that my dad helped make for me. He's good with welding, I'm not. So it's just bolts onto the unique bar. All the cables run around the back of that. And you've got those 2 work lights, so it's actually been really useful when you come home late at night and your lights on for reversing in, but also just good for setting up when you get to camp if it's dark. So just how we're storing stuff with the Rhino Pioneer platform is we've got a couple of quick fist clamps that are holding our shovel in place, and then we've got max tracks and the swags on top, but I'll show you that now. So being we're going to be in the Simpson, you need to have a sand flag. So we decided we didn't want to have it on our front bar, just because it gets in the way. So we've got a folding antenna mount, a heavy duty one, and as a result we only need this to be 2 meters rather than the 3 because it's coming off the roof rack. So we just used a couple of small quick fist clamps to hold that in place while it's not being used, and then when we get to the desert we can just fold that up, and that should work really well. Time will tell. So just the two of us, so basically all we've really got, what else is on the roof, is a couple of swags. So mine up front, which is a bit bigger, my dad's at the back, and he's got a stretcher as well. So that's how we're going to carry it. And then across on this side, as you can see, we've got our max tracks. So they're just sitting there beside that. So not a great deal of stuff up on the roof, which is what we want, keep all the weight low down as possible. And that should all work really well. Easy to climb up on top of here to get our swags off every day and to load up when we're done. So up in the front cab, what we got here, so we've got a Grab Me Gear dash console storage pocket, whatever you want to call it, which is really cool. So got the handheld UHFs in there. We'll put a few other things when we get on the trip. We've got the RAM mount for the iPad where the HEMA will go. Our UHF is here, so we'll probably have that on channel 10 while we're in the desert so we can hear what's going on if there's anyone else coming up the other side of a dune. And then the handhelds we'll use for communication between the two cars. We've also put in a TPMS tire pressure monitoring system as well. And the reason being is just to eliminate, the potential of some really bad blowouts. So it's got an alarm set at 12 psi. So if if you sort of getting a flat or something, it'll send an alarm so we know, and then that way we can quickly stop and deal with that issue rather than realizing too late and sort of have some really bad damage to a tire. I mean, that's one of the biggest potential risks you have is with your tires, so that should hopefully eliminate anything really bad happening.